Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're digging into a topic that is quite literally right under our feet, but it holds secrets that are absolutely crucial for the entire planet. Let's get right into it with a surprising number. So, what if I told you that there's this massive global carbon piggy bank, one that holds more than double the carbon you'd find in our entire atmosphere and all the world's plants combined? Any guesses what it could be? You might be surprised. Yup, it's the soil, the very ground we walk on. It turns out this is one of the largest and maybe one of the most overlooked carbon reservoirs on the entire planet. It's a huge player in the global climate system. All right, so let's dig into this. What is this surprising carbon secret hiding in our soil? Just how much are we talking about here, and why on earth does it matter so much for the global carbon balance? Okay, take a look at this, because this really puts it into perspective. The atmosphere, it holds about 730 petagrams of carbon. And for the record, a petagram is a billion metric tons, so a lot. All the plants in the world, trees, everything, hold about 620. But the soil? Whoa, we're talking somewhere between 3,400 and 4,000 petagrams. It absolutely dwarfs the other two combined. It's not even close. So, the key to understanding all this carbon storage is this one thing: soil organic matter. You'll hear it called SOM for short. But what exactly is it? Well, to put it simply, SOM is basically all the stuff in the soil that contains carbon and was once alive. Think of it as a huge complex mix of everything from living microbes and fungi to fresh plant roots, all the way to really old, broken down plant material. And here's the kicker: about half of its total weight is pure carbon. You can kind of break down SOM into three main phases or stages. First, you've got the fresh stuff, recently dead leaves, roots, and all the little critters living in the soil. Then there's the active pile, the stuff that's currently being munched on and broken down. And finally, you get to the good stuff, humus, that dark, rich, incredibly stable material that can lock up carbon for hundreds, even thousands of years. So how do we get from a dead leaf on the ground to that super stable, carbon-rich humus? Well, it's all thanks to this amazing process called decomposition. And like any good recipe, it starts with the right ingredients. Yeah, think of the soil microbes as tiny chefs. Their ingredients are all the different organic compounds inside plants. You've got stuff like cellulose, the building block of plant cell walls, and those really tough woody lignins, plus things like proteins that are packed with nitrogen. And just like any recipe, some ingredients cook faster than others. For soil microbes, sugars and simple proteins are like fast food. They get gobbled up almost instantly. But the really tough stuff, especially those lignins, are like a slow-cooked stew. They take a long, long time to break down, and that's how their carbon gets locked away for the long haul. Okay, now here's maybe the single most important variable in this entire recipe: oxygen. Whether you have it or you don't completely changes the final dish. The final outcome of decomposition. So in soil that's got plenty of air, plenty of oxygen, what we call aerobic decomposition happens. It's super efficient. The microbes break everything down completely, they get energy to power the whole soil ecosystem, and the byproducts are water and carbon dioxide, or CO2. That CO2 then goes back into the atmosphere. It's all part of the natural cycle. But what happens when there's no oxygen? Think about a swamp or a waterlogged field. That's called anaerobic decomposition, and it's a totally different ballgame. It's way slower, it's messy, and it's incomplete. And instead of just CO2, it produces a bunch of other stuff, including methane, which, as you probably know, is a way more powerful greenhouse gas than carbon dioxide. Okay, so we've established that soil is this massive carbon warehouse. Cool. But so what? Why does this soil organic matter matter so much for the actual health of the soil? It's funny. Soil organic matter usually only makes up a pretty small percentage of the total soil, just a few percent by weight. But its influence it's just massive. It's like the little engine that runs the entire system. It really is the powerhouse of soil health. Check out this list of superpowers. SOM is basically a nutrient bank for plants, acting like a slow-release fertilizer. It's also like a giant sponge, helping the soil hold onto water so it's more resistant to drought. It's the glue that holds soil particles together, which helps stop erosion. And of course, it's the food source that fuels that entire bustling world beneath our feet. So knowing how incredibly important this stuff is, the big question is pretty obvious, right? How do we protect it? because the things we do can either build it up or they can tear it down. Well, a few things can cause us to lose this precious resource. Climate is one. Warmer, wetter conditions naturally make decomposition happen faster, but our own activities are a huge driver. Things like plowing or tillage shoot a ton of oxygen into the soil. That's like pouring gasoline on the fire of decomposition, and it releases a lot of stored carbon as CO2. And then there's erosion, which is pretty straightforward. It just washes or blows that valuable, carbon-rich topsoil right off the land. But here's the good news. We actually know how to build it back. Things like reducing or even eliminating tillage helps protect the soil's natural structure. Using cover crops means the soil is never bare, and it provides a constant food source for all that microbial life. And just being smart about fertilizing makes sure plants grow big and healthy so they can return more of that organic matter back to the soil when they're done. I really love this quote because it perfectly captures the beautiful cycle we've been talking about. It's this endless loop of life, death, decay, and then rebirth. The substance of life itself returns to the earth, only to create new life. It's pretty amazing when you think about it. So at the end of the day, knowing that the ground beneath our feet isn't just dirt, that it's this living, breathing, vital global resource, it really leaves us with a pretty big question, doesn't it? How will we choose to walk on it? Something to think about. Thanks for tuning in.